everyone. You are back listening to Parts and Charts, the IFS and Astrology podcast. This is KP Kashubowski. I'm the astrologer of the podcast. And you have already listened to part 1 of our 12th house episode with Lisa Broggi, our favorite astrologer, therapist, astrotherapist, and also she's known as the Lilith therapist for her work with Black Moon Lilith. So we've experienced in part 1 a lot of the basic understanding of the 12th house and maybe how it shows up in everyone's lives, how to access the 12th house in healthy ways, and how to know when it's not feeling great in the body in your life. For this part 2, we do more discussion on integrating the knowledge into our practices. This is a really important part of our conversation as it helps us pull together all the loose threads that we brought up in the beginning of our discussion. Also, we mentioned that before we recorded, Chelsea, Lisa, and I all listened to the same recorded guided meditation about the 12th house. That is available for anyone who is a paid subscriber on Substack for Parts and Charts podcast. You will either find that in your welcome email when you become a paid subscriber, or it'll be in the posts before, after, and during these first part, second part of this episode. I believe that's everything you need to know before we jump in. So understand that you are jumping into the middle of a conversation exactly where we left off from part 1. And we are just so grateful to Lisa for coming on and giving us her wisdom, her expertise, her ability to make sense of all of these things as someone who holds space for people's healing and self-exploration, as well as her depth of study in astrology. And thank you so much for listening. We are building this community. We want everyone to feel welcome to reach out and let us know what their exploration has felt like too. So please message us. We are not just here to speak to a camera, right? We really want to connect with you. So feel free to email us, send us a message on Substack, find us on Instagram, let us know what you're thinking. Okay, here we go. Do you feel like IFS is the 12th house's modality?
Maybe if we're just looking at the biggest, most popular modalities in psychotherapy, probably, because but I also just IFS isn't unique in that it's the only way of doing this type of work, right? It's just now we're putting some of these other practices that have been popularized by so many different traditions, spiritual traditions, right? Into clinical language. So it's if we're just talking about purely clinical stuff, it's probably the most, I don't know, woo thing out there modality in psychotherapy, right, Lisa? It's not,
sure.
it's so different from DBT. It's so different from, I don't know, lots of other modalities. But so yeah, probably. But then you go into spiritual practices and lineages, and it's oh, people have been doing this kind of stuff forever.
Yeah.
For sure.
We didn't talk about that this 12th house has so much to do with spirituality.
Does it? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the fun part, right? I
The
feel
fun part
we
for
just
sure.
so far we've just been talking about the hard stuff, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fun stuff.
Although, wait, can I say one last thing though?
Yes,
or no, we're not
please.
done with IFS, right? I don't think we are.
Go
But
for it. Go
before
for
I
it.
lose the thought, I did want to name more hard stuff.
Please do.
Yeah, when you were like, IFS, is it the 12th house modality? It does feel like it is, the house of our exiles, our personal exiles, our lineages. And again, this might take us to a tangent, so cut me off if you don't want this. But I was just thinking, coming back to this, remember I was the hidden enemies thing, I have I don't super relate to that, but I do relate to the self-sabotage, how I'm sure people have read on the internet, the 12th house. What is, the house of self-undoing? Is that what they call it?
Ooh, really?
Yeah, that's a tagline and it freaks people out. And I do think this is real. There definitely is a part of the 12th house, or I don't know if you relate, Chelsea, where you kind of have to, you got to look at your own shit. You got to see how you are sabotaging yourself. And there's so much parts work here. But I think often it's a fear of your own power, or wanting to stay small, or wanting to stay hidden. But I was just thinking the 12th house sign, like the zodiac sign, could be really great for understanding what some of your major firefighters, right?
Yeah.
Am I connecting this? Like this
Yeah.
sabotage
Yeah.
that
Well, especially when
happens.
you're, yeah, because when you were talking about like the parts, like what's been suppressed or like what has not seen the sunlight, right? What you're kind of exiling away, like that's there for sure, right? But then all the parts that come up in response to that,
Yeah.
so all the protector parts that would maybe like do the self-sabotaging behaviors to keep you safe,
Mhm.
right? To keep those exiles safe. So and
Right.
then everything like yeah, any ways that firefighters cope with keeping those feelings at bay, which would be like, could be destructive stuff like drinking or drugs,
Mhm.
like anything to numb out and just not let that vulnerable material surface. So, yeah, I could
Yeah.
see, yeah, all of that being contained there.
Well, and maybe I'm silly just to say firefighters. It's obviously the managers and the firefighters, but I would just encourage people to look at the zodiac sign and be like, and
Yeah.
this is what I mean about what is your relationship to this sign? How do you
Yeah.
abuse it? How do you like you
Yeah.
want to find the healthy expression of
Oh,
that,
yeah.
Yeah.
because there's probably in your 12th house that zodiac sign you'll also know how to use it destructively or like yeah, as a protective part,
Mhm.
we have the
Yeah.
compassionate lens because therapists, but you do that's like the getting real with yourself about how do I self-sabotage or like how what are
Yeah.
the ways that I do keep myself small or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Totally. Mhm.
That's beautiful for sure. As just like a beginning point. Like if
Mm,
we just start there, I think you get so much information.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what's coming to mind is that all energies of us must be expressed.
Mm,
And if you know what your 12th house energy is, you
mm,
have more choice in how it's expressed.
Mhm.
totally.
Otherwise, sometimes it turns into smoking cigarettes, like one
Ah,
after the other,
yeah.
which is me.
Yeah.
But that energy had to be expressed, and it was just
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to find the
Mhm.
healthy expression. Or like I'll use my example. So again, Taurus 12th house. One of my hands down biggest managers is control.
Yeah.
Like I so many control parts. Oh my God, I can't even tell you. And I was like, how Taurus is that? Right? Trying to
Yeah.
control everything. I mean,
Mm.
it's almost comical.
I love when it's comical because because then
Yeah,
you
I'm
Yeah.
can
glad you
see
can
it
laugh about it.
clearly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love
Yeah.
Yeah.
to laugh. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just more yeah, because more real talk before we go to the fun stuff is like, yeah, you do gotta look at your shit in the 12th. That is what
Yeah.
you have to do that. It is always gonna be
Mhm.
worth it because there could
Mhm.
be stuff that is going on that is unconsciously
Mhm.
wreaking havoc in your life, keeping you
Mhm.
blocked, keeping
Mhm.
you stuck that you need to look at, right?
Yeah.
So there is like
I think
yeah,
one
the
of mine was
self-undoing.
definitely like overgiving for sure.
Oh, Cancer.
Like cancer times 100. Yeah. Or yeah, just
Yes.
putting other people's emotions and well-being ahead of me, which yeah, the selflessness. Which there's probably some legacies, like KP you were talking about stoicism like there's so much cultural stuff too. Being Midwestern, right? Being
Yeah.
in
Mm,
like Eastern European immigrant like farm communities where I grew up, like there's so much there about how you should act or shouldn't act or put other people before yourself. And so there's service, but it's like service times 100.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even have a self. I don't exist like unless I'm serving other people or
mhm.
putting other people before me. So that feels really real.
Oh, yeah. And another thought that just came through is like, yeah, this, how they talk about prisons with the 12th house?
Oh,
It's like, yes, it could be literal, although I don't relate to the literal, but there's like the internal prison. Like, what about that sign keeps you
Yeah.
ooh,
trapped? Right. Again, another one for me with Taurus is like, sometimes I definitely have to be conscious about making sure I do make change in my life, right? Because I have so many protectors that are like, hold on, don't like avoid change at all cost, right?
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
But that will keep me trapped. That like it that has been a prison in
Oh,
Mhm.
certain ways.
wow.
Of like
Yeah,
the fear of change, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm laughing
yeah.
because Uranus is like
Oh yeah.
yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Like, just liberate,
Yeah.
change for
Oh
6,
yeah,
7
I know.
years.
I'm like a graduate. I'm like, oh, I've
Yeah,
had my
you.
Taurus therapy.
I survived the Uranus and Taurus transit.
I made changes.
Yeah,
Sun
you're so go
rising,
with the
get
flow
ready.
now.
Anyway,
Cool.
But spirituality, like, that's the 12th house is the house from our vantage point we can't see. So that's where
Yeah.
we as humans choose where God is.
mm,
And maybe that's not
Yeah.
true, but that's where we conceive of source and God and spirit because we can't see it. There's like,
Cool.
it's fruitless to even try to see it.
wow.
So then our 12th house paths are the way to God. If we want to be reductive, yeah. And like you can say the one sentence, like you can roast the signs and that's how you can find God. Like a Sagittarius 12th house needs to ask questions. Needs
Yes.
to go on a quest. That's God. Like I travel
Mm.
to find God.
Mm,
So I think a lot of people do that. But
I love
yeah.
that.
Mm.
And
That's
spirituality expresses in all parts of our lives. But that's the unknown,
Yeah.
you know?
That's why my faith has been tested.
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, the spirituality side is fun if you're able to tap into it. You know, that was also like a huge part of why when I learned about the 12th house, I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. You know, like I've been
Yeah.
praying to the universe for so long and and like that being a resource for me. And
Yeah.
then learning like, oh yeah, your moon's in the 12th house. No shit. Like the universe is your mother. Like that is like how you resource yourself. Or if
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm like feeling really emotionally overwhelmed by something, I will actually, KP, I listened to your audio today for the 12th house, which yes, everyone should go do. It's really cool. And there was a part of it where you go to, or no, it was just about memories, or one part of it. And I went to this particular place that
Mm.
was actually, it was the Marin Headlands, like
Really?
yeah, I used to go to this spot that's like these cliffs with the water, like ridiculous. The most
Mm.
12th house scene
Yeah.
ever. Can we say that?
Ah.
You're sitting on the edge of the earth with this like endless ocean.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I would go there by myself. It was my ultimate 12th Taurus 12th house, right? Nature, like
Mm.
so gorgeous. But like I would just sit there and pray and like talk to the universe or the ocean. I would call it the mermaid.
Mm.
And it'd be like connecting to something bigger than me, but I would be alone and it would be the way that I would regulate. Like
Yeah.
that would reset me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
That's
Like the
beautiful.
Taurus. Yeah. I'm thinking
Mm.
too of like how people who go to church on Sunday, like the classic way of checking in spiritually every week,
Yeah.
how that might be more supportive for people who love contained social spaces
Mm.
that
Mhm.
they can like just exist in and not have to talk to anyone. Like that feels 12th house to
Yeah.
me.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
then some people experience church as the place to talk to friends and like catch up and
Yeah.
gossip. And maybe that's not the 12th house for them.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And I do think that my 12th house energy started to express healthily when I went to grad school, which is Sagittarius energy. Like I was in the stacks
Yeah.
asking questions every day.
Learning. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No.
And like I didn't need answers. I just needed to ask questions.
Mm.
Like, yeah, a lot of things got easier for me because that's where I got to be alone and restore
Yeah.
my energy,
Mm.
and not just be asleep. That was my other
Mhm.
strategy that didn't quite work.
Mm.
Mhm.
Is anything else coming up for you in that with Lisa and Chelsea?
Being alone and
Like the
Yeah.
and
resourcing part of it, kind of.
resourcing. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, Chelsea, I see you going to the ocean often. That's very Cancer
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Thank God I live close. It's a couple blocks away. So, I mean,
Mm.
and not just like ocean, but like hot tub or hot springs. Like,
Mm.
I love being in water. I prefer that over a sauna any day.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, maybe this is also just like so stereotypical Cancer, but having my own, just being at home alone, like having my own I need like quiet time to recharge. I mean, KPSC in my house, it's like a craft museum
It's
threw up all over
amazing.
my house. It's like there's just like stuff
That's
everywhere.
also cancer
And
though, the
like
creep.
my like yarn corner, my watercolor corner, like,
Yeah.
books like overflowing. So, I have my little zones where I can go do all my things. I could stay busy at my house all day, entertain myself alone probably for a whole week and not have to talk to anybody and I'd be like, yay. But I
Mm.
don't think I really
Oh, yeah.
understood like my like need for alone time or didn't even put words to it. But I think my college roommates, I had my own room in college and I shared an apartment with two of my friends and they shared a room and I had my own room. And they would make jokes and now it makes sense because I would retreat to my room and like close the door. I need my alone time. And they would just call it Chelsea time. If they
Yeah.
saw that before I really did. Like
No.
they just like had a name for it. They're like, "Oh, Chelsea needs Chelsea time." And I go, to my room, I do my little things and like yeah, so it's just funny that they noticed that before I ever even noticed that I was doing that. And now I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course." Like I get overwhelmed and I need to be alone and do my little crafts. Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's my resourcing.
Okay, I love that, and we do have to talk about the alone time of the 12th. We cannot
Mhm.
skip over this, right? Because again, that's definitely on the internet, right? We're not even gonna call it
Yeah.
lazy astrology because it's just true.
Yeah.
But I wanna talk about why it's true. And I
Yeah.
think it does
Yeah.
come back to the spiritual, you know, a big part of the 12th house is like you are merging with everything around you.
Yes.
Like it's boundaryless, which is can
Yeah.
be dangerous, which is why you really do also have to actively work to stay in your body and have
Mm.
boundaries. But there's something super spongy and porous about the 12th house. And so if you have placements there, that means there's lots of placements in the chart that are spongy, by the way. It's not just the 12th house, but the 12th house for sure is you are a sponge. You are picking
Mhm.
up energy everywhere you go, right?
Yeah.
In fact, as a therapist, this is funny. When I sit with clients, sometimes I will start feeling like them. Like, I'll start feeling their feelings or even have thoughts that I know are not
Whoa.
mine, which
Whoa.
is great as a therapist because it's information.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
mean, when I didn't understand that, I was like, well, what the hell's going on? But now I see it as information. So you're picking up shit all the time that is not yours. So
Mhm.
that is 100%, in my opinion anyway, call me out, why 12th house people need their alone time.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
you got to shed some of that, which I'm always going to suggest learning energy work if you are a 12 houser. So you can learn how to clear stuff out and refill with your
Yeah.
own energy.
Yeah.
But also, you need to be alone because you can't necessarily know how you feel unless you are separate from everything else.
Totally.
Because of the sponge, right?
Mhm.
And also the overstimulation. I'm like such an overstimulated person
Mhm.
all the time, really
Mhm.
working on it to ground. But
Mhm.
like, I think that's part of it is like you want to turn down the dial on taking in all the stuff, which is also why the 12th house is associated with addiction, right? 100% because
Ah.
they're trying to turn down the intensity,
Yes.
feeling all the stuff, right?
Right.
Whether it's
Yeah.
your own shit, emotional baggage, or just what's around you, you're trying to numb it.
Yeah.
I like saying turn down the dial because
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
compassion for what's going on, right? The therapist
Right.
compassion. So anyway, that's the alone time. You do really need it
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
can't know what's yours or somebody else's,
Yeah.
or just even that stranger you passed in the grocery store for like 5 seconds,
Right. I know. Well, that's I think like a part of the 12th house being like the collective unconscious is that we're so tapped into the oneness of it all and like what you're
Right.
feeling is so important to what I'm feeling. It's so hard to understand where you end and where I begin because we're all one and everything is connected. And
Yeah.
like how you feel really does matter because it will affect me and how I feel because we're all in this together. But I think like to be able to have enough separation to just be able to see that and sit with it and yeah, to know that like, okay, I don't have to have a reaction to what you're feeling. I don't have to
Mhm.
feel it as strongly so that I can have like enough self energy to be able to show up for you in the way that you need, in the way that I need without getting
Yeah.
overtaken by it, right? But knowing that like all of it is so connected. And I think, yeah, that's what makes it difficult to know, like, what's yours? What's mine? What's all of ours? And
Yeah.
what do we do with all of that? And how do we heal and go forward and feel good? Yeah.
Mm, well said.
I'm wondering, because of you both have this lived experience of your suns and moon in the 12th house, is there a place where people gather where you love to soak up the energy and you can rely on that? Like a
Oh,
festival or a Dharma
it's
talk
festive.
or something like that?
I already know my answer, but I'll
Yeah.
wait. Oh, I think it's the appropriate answer to your question. Actually, it's part of my tattoo. Can you all see this? It
Oh,
says
no.
unison.
Oh, wow.
I've got that tattoo because okay, I hope this does answer your question. I think it truly was one of my first spiritual experiences when I was young. And I was at, oh my God, I hope you don't laugh because I actually love these two people so much. I was at a concert. It was Billy Joel and Elton John
Oh
together
my
in concert.
Oh,
god.
Oh my God, it was amazing. This was high school. My sister gifted me this concert we went together. And anyway, it was Elton John's song Crocodile Rock, which, by the way,
oh,
I'm not like a huge fan of, if you know this song. But anyway, in the middle of the song, the chorus where they're like, la, you know this part?
yeah.
All the music stops and it was just thousands of people. I mean, it makes me want to cry,
Oh,
singing the same thing in unison.
What?
And I had like a whole body reaction. I feel it right now. I could start crying. I'm not going to cry on this podcast, but it was like it really was a spiritual experience. It was everybody singing in unison. There was something
wow.
so powerful about it that it over, I felt overcome. Is that what you say? So
Yeah.
that's a good experience, right?
That's beautiful.
I hope that answers, but me being at like a carnival, like in the midst of everybody, I'm like, oh my God, get me out of here. Like, I'm
No, no,
like
no.
so overstimulated, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
that's
that
so
makes me
beautiful.
I have a difficult time being at concerts in buildings, but when it's
Mm,
Yeah,
outdoors, I have a much
yeah.
easier time. And when the vibe is so happy and like love, I
mm,
feel so euphoric. But it's hard for
Mhm,
me to tell which performers are going to bring that vibe. So I
mhm.
don't go to concerts very often. I'm too porous in
Yeah,
interesting.
that way.
That's
yeah.
interesting.
But that is what I was talking about, is like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a
So how
fun.
do you feel one? Yeah.
Yeah. Chelsea, do you have an answer?
Well, maybe like 2 questions ago, I was like I spaced out a bit. 'Cause we were talking about the ocean, and I spaced out a bit because I was like, "I'm gonna look up when I should go to Esalen next." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, Esalen is my place, like, that is if people don't know, look it up. It's been around since the '70s. It started off as, like, a kind of a radical place for mostly, like, therapists, like, people in psychotherapy world to go, and Fritz Perls kind of developed the Gestalt method, yeah, so it's classic, it's been around forever, and now it's quite different, but still, most beautiful piece of land. It's Big Sur. There's natural hot springs, like, just laying in the tubs and, being naked, looking at the stars, and just having, like you can socialize or you cannot, like, you can do whatever you want, it's really choose your own adventure, but it just feels like the most restorative place for me,
Mm.
and I've been choosing a lot more, like, maybe 12th house places and things to do,
Mm,
with my free time, like, I'm noticing like, I'm going to a Dharma talk tonight, and like, it just sounds so much more refreshing than going to, like, any kind of socializing function. Like, thinking of going to a party or a bar or, like, something loud, like, even a concert, I kind of have to psych myself up a little bit to go, like, if it's late at night, I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna be so much energy, or I have to get there, or I have to stand." Like, all of that is becoming a lot less attractive to me, and I'm a very social butterfly, but now when I think of, like, "Oh, I'll go to Esalen, or I'll go to the sauna, or I'll go to a Dharma talk, or, any meditation hall," like, thinking about doing that feels so good to my system. I'll be like, "Oh, good, I just have to receive. I don't have to
mm,
do anything. I can
Yeah.
just exist. I don't even have to talk if I don't want to." Um, It'll feel good,
mm.
it'll feel spiritual. Like, all of those factors are way more important to me than, like, I don't know, losing myself in like fun like I used to in my 20s and now
Mm.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's just like, my therapy work and I'd really just need restoration at the end of the day, or I don't know, or if I'm just like looking for some just more spiritual experiences, because that feels way more nourishing than other stuff. Yeah.
Yes, I relate.
Yeah. And that 12th house is where like the deep tissue nourishing
Deep
comes
Mm,
tissue.
from. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Spiritual food.
Ooh, spiritual food.
Spiritual food. That's so cute. Yeah. Another thing with the spiritual, I will say, just like the tips, because remember, we have acknowledged that the 12th house can be really challenging. But
Yeah.
yeah, connecting to something bigger than you, whatever that
Mhm.
is always gonna help. It's like it's a resourcing
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
faith. And you kept using the word
Mhm.
faith.
Yeah.
Both
Which
people.
is like, I don't know about you, Lisa, but I wish I could do more of that in my therapy practice. And I feel somewhat
Mm,
confined and constrained by,
mm,
the scope of being a, licensed mental health person because we're supposed to be working within our framework, right? And like what our license is. But it's
yeah.
like sometimes I'm with clients and I'm just thinking like, man, like if you just had like some connection to something or it's there's parts of me
Mm.
that think I know what's best for them and I don't know, but it just feels like sometimes the spiritual feels like the missing piece and it's something that like I can't quite do
Mm,
with clients as a therapist.
yeah,
Do you feel that way?
I think maybe I get more permission for that now just because I've gone
You
into
do?
astrology land,
I
maybe.
know. Yeah.
But absolutely. Oh my God. You are a gift to your clients, by the way, but that would be such a gift
I
to
know.
particular
Yeah.
ones. And maybe now that you
Yeah.
just said that out loud, you're going to
Yeah.
attract more clients who will want that. And you're going to
Yeah.
totally intuitively know that they need that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Ooh, I hope what do they say?
Mhm.
So mote it be? Let may it be so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my inspiration, Lise. You're my inspiration.
Yeah.
Is there more on your list that you want to cover?
There was one more thing I did think about was I
Yeah.
know we keep talking about the unconscious, just like our personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. The other thing that it's kind of a weird quirk, but also you can work with it. Sometimes it's stressful. 12th house energy, you can you're tapping into other people's unconscious energy, right? Or like just what's in the room
Yes.
that's invisible. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, that's cool for doing deep therapy work, but this is like a weird quirk. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable because sometimes and this can just be in a social situation, I will end up like just what comes out of my mouth will be some that's like in the room that's not spoken about.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
I'm not doing it at all consciously. And it can be activating and triggering, which is why some people say that 12th housers can be really triggering to other people.
Oh. Huh.
But it's just like I just wanted to name that. It's like you're in the soup
Yeah.
of
Mm.
the unconscious. So that can feel overwhelming. Like actually I was just talking about with somebody. I've gone to these things that are astrodramas, which is like a psychodrama. Yeah, it is really cool.
Cool.
But also, and my system, there's so many little psyches, unconscious things happening in that room that I sometimes feel like it's too much for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm
Yeah.
extra that because those activities are already pulling up the unconscious like everybody's working with it, but it feels like so extra for me.
Yeah.
It
Wow.
feels like a little uncomfortable. I don't like love it.
Wow.
So I just
Yeah.
wanted to name again the soup of the unconscious that is really like accessible and like learning how to protect yourself with that.
Yes.
That's probably like the last
Mhm.
things I would say. Like the tips for self or 12th house care. I already said a couple things. Like energy work is really good to do. Chelsea, do
Yeah.
you do anything like that?
I mean, I probably am on an unconscious level, but I'd
Yeah.
like to be more intentional about it. I've had psychics
Yeah.
tell me that my work is moving in that direction with clients. I
Oh, I
haven't
believe that.
I haven't done anything
Yeah.
towards, a training or but I would
Yeah.
love to because I think I've worked with some people like I don't even know what yeah, there's words for it, but I'm not even sure. Energy work, not even really touch, but energy work plus parts work. Like and
Yeah,
psychism. So like, you know, there's so much there, it's all intertwined, but being able to do all of that would be super cool.
Yeah.
totally. I love that.
Yeah.
And learning how to practice it for yourself again, because of that
Yeah.
sponge. So learning how to release, I don't know if you could see my hands, release all this shit you're picking up all day and
Yeah.
then refilling your cup. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
energy work, spiritual practice that helps ground you. Figure out how to be of service in some way. It doesn't have to be being a therapist, by the way. There's so many ways to be of
Yeah.
service.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, and it
Picking
can
up
be
trash.
individual. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Humanity, what animals. Definitely
Yeah.
having solitude. You need to like reconnect with yourself to know what's real. And
Mm.
then maybe the last thing I would say for that is, do we talk about healthy escapism?
We
Ooh,
didn't.
no.
I feel like this is an important one
It is.
because obviously we know the 12th house is connected with like addiction, which is related to escapism, that trying to turn down the dial, or like isolation, you know, and there's a lot of judgment on a lot of these things. And I just want to say that if you have 12th house energy, you do have to escape sometimes. That is a part of
Yeah.
how you function. It's how you clear your energy. It's how you access your self energy. It's also how you receive information.
Mm.
It's important for you. So that's why I say find your healthy escapisms.
Mhm.
And again, looking towards the sign and the planets in there will give you clues around what would be
Yeah.
like the most beneficial for you. You know, like again, Mia's example of Taurus, one of my favorites is just like pure headphones time. Like that's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else. It's just me and headphones, you know, and I'm alone. And that is really restorative to me, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, do you guys have thoughts on this?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter even if you don't have 12th house placements, just looking at that sign again is going to be an important energy for you, right?
Mhm.
That's really that yeah, that's really important. I had a client once who I think was a Gemini rising, so then Taurus
Mm.
12th house. And she described to me that she had been doing like choir singing or you like a you
Well,
can't it's not choir singing, it's you community sing. So you
Okay.
come to this place and everyone's there and you learn a song together and you sing the song like 3 or 4 times and then you go home.
oh,
And
Sweet.
she even said like, "I don't feel like I'm myself, but I'm part of everyone when I'm doing that." It's like
Ooh,
that
yeah.
and Taurus has so much to do with singing and the voice and,
yeah.
the throat. So that was like, "Oh, cool. You're doing the 12th house. You figured it out."
Mm,
Um, that's a
Nice.
really great way to healthily lose your ego.
Mhm.
totally. Oh, I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. So making sure you have that. I just think it's essential and we don't want to judge that. It's just figuring out how to do it in a way that's healthy
Yeah.
so you
yeah,
can still be in the world and take care of yourself, right? But
Mhm.
yeah,
all constant energy does require retreat, a little isolation, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
healthy hermit.
Healthy hermit. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, you can definitely be overindulging, which I've been guilty of for sure. Yeah.
Mm.
This was so fun. Did we do it
yeah.
all? Was there anything else? Are we
What else?
I don't know.
TP?
I
Any
do have
burning
like a tiny,
questions?
tiny thing about the 12th house that's been fascinating to me.
Hmm.
The ancient significations say large quadrupeds are related to the 12th house.
Oh yeah.
And that
Mm.
makes me think of horse therapy as like such a deeply healing
Hmm.
therapy for people who've experienced trauma and don't have language for it, I think is
Hmm.
major.
Ooh.
Or children who don't have language, access to language in the way that they should. I'm saying that with heavy air quotes. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
horse therapy is often suggested.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about elephants, like supporting elephant sanctuaries. Like I've heard people say that's very healing. Just being
Oh.
Mm.
around elephants is like such a healing experience.
Mm.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever been around an
Oh.
elephant other than at a zoo, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm curious about that.
Hmm.
I've definitely heard that about horses with the 12th house. I've never, well, I think I maybe rode a horse as like a child, but I'm not a horse girl. But I actually do have a funny thing where when I'm around horses, I feel really emotional. Like
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually get sad for them. I'm like,
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
can feel, not to sound cheesy, but like their consciousness almost. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
smart,
Yeah.
very Yeah, I don't even know how to articulate it, but for some reason, the few times I'm around horses, I feel emotional. Like they're
Yeah.
really present there with you. They're
Yeah.
really aware and connected.
Mm-hmm.
There is something very special about them, and it does
Yeah.
get me.
Mm.
Do you get that
Mm-hmm.
way around cows?
Oh my god, I don't.
I
I
do.
don't.
I feel so much for cows.
I mean, every time
Mm-hmm.
I see a cow, I'm like, I never want to eat a cow again. That's how I
Yeah.
Yeah,
feel.
same.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
KP, you and I both probably grew up around a lot of cows. Like there's so
Yeah.
many in the Midwest, and you're from a dairy state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel very horse-like to me. It's
Yeah.
interesting that they're both technically prey animals. Is that true about a cow? I know horses are
Really?
prey.
Are they? I don't know, actually.
Maybe
Hmm.
cows aren't prey, but horses are prey and they're humongous, so it's like such a strange experience.
That is
Where
weird.
most
Yeah.
prey animals are smaller than us. Anyway, yeah. I
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
wanted to share that because I think that that's a possibility for someone who is like looking for a 12th house way. It's like find a
Yeah.
horse, love
Yeah.
a horse.
Love a horse.
I do condone horse
Yeah.
therapy. I do.
Aspirational horse girls.
Aspirational. That's my next chapter of 12th houseness.
Yeah. Chelsea, do you have any IFS things you want to share?
No, I feel like we touched on some of it, but nothing's really standing out right now. Just do it and see how it all connects. See what's where and what. Yeah, if there's stuff in your 12th house, I think that'd be really fascinating to work with in therapy for sure.
Yeah.
If you're curious
Right.
about exploring that, hit me up.
Oh yeah. Chelsea's the queen, the IFS queen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
Yes.
also, and not the IFS pro. I'm like very inspired by Chelsea's work. But yeah, utilizing those less like rational tools to get there too, with like imagery
Yeah.
and art
Yeah.
and tray, or I mean, Chelsea, I'm sure you have lots of
Mhm.
ways of doing, or the imaginal realm, right? Which already is IFS.
Yeah.
Because there
Yeah.
is like trusting that your unconscious is going to be drawn towards like just being really curious about what you're drawn to. There's information there,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chelsea, I'm sure you know this so well with the work.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And art therapy too, right? That's pretty much what we're doing all the time in art therapy is just uncovering the unconscious or letting the unconscious create and flow. Yeah. Looking at those images too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Mhm.
yeah. We did
Hell
it.
yeah.
I think we
We
did it.
did
This was
it.
so fun. I really do love talking about this, and I love talking with you too.
Yes.
We love talking with you.
Yeah, I love what everybody brings to the table here. So I appreciate you
Yeah.
having me. And also it was really fun to sit down and think about all the things that I feel about the
Totally.
12th house. So thank you for that opportunity to consciously ponder it.
Yeah. And anyone feel free to disagree with anything we said. But while you were thinking about all of this stuff, you probably came up with your own ideas of what the 12th house means for you. So that's all we really want to do is just hold the hermit lantern
Yeah.
while you discover for
Yeah.
yourself what it all means.
And
Cool.
email us if you want to share your experiences because that's the
Yeah.
best part about
Shout
this.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
That's fun.
Okay, well, that is
So
our episode.
that's it.
Thank you, Lisa, for joining us. We will have you on again if you
Yeah. Think
want
about what you want to
to.
talk about next time.
Thank you so much. This was
Yeah,
so
next
fun
deep
for
dive.
me. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
All right, everyone, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for Parts and Charts, the IFS and Astrology podcast. If something sparked insight or resonated with you, we'd love to hear from you.
No, really, we're here to make friends. Reach out to us. Leave a comment, subscribe, and if you feel called, share this episode with someone you care about. Or, if you want to work with us one-on-one and go deeper with this work, check the link in the show notes for how to find us.
Until next time, may all of you feel a part of the family.